or the story rather, is based on the novel by renowned South African author Zola. The movie is to launch at the Jozi Book Fair tomorrow and it premieres on the 13th of October. Zola Maseko joins us in studio, but first let's take a quick look at that trailer.
Come, Sarisha!
The whales have stolen his soul. All he does now is blow his horn for all instead of the Lord.
Hey!
Los hom af, bietjie man.
I bathed in your waters of life and mine mixed, and our souls were cleansed.
So now you found me, what you going to do about it?
I don't know.
Now that looks like some award-winning stuff there. Zola Maseko, director, thank you so much for joining us in studio. It looks like a visual feast, and combined with the source, author Zola words. I mean, this surely must be a brilliant movie.
Well,
okay, a little bit difficult for you to conceive, but
what should I say?
What went into the making of it, Zola?
A lot of time, passion and effort. When I read The Whale Caller about 9 years ago, I just fell in love with the story. It was like a gem coming out of South Africa. And I've been aware of Brazex's work for a very long time, but this one just really grabbed me and became obsessed with it. I tried to remain as true as possible to Brazex's prose, and my DOP Miles Goodall did a brilliant job. The film is a visual feast, and it's set on location in Hermanus, one of South Africa's best kept secrets. So and we had a wonderful actors, Silo Makekangube and Amrain, newcomer. And they did a great job. So all in all, it's a film I'm very, very proud of.
Is this a story that you believe can travel overseas, as well as the book has done?
When I make films in particular, because we have such a small audience in South Africa, I always aim to make films that are of an international quality, that can travel. Whether it does travel or not is really not up to me. I'm not in the outcomes game. I'm in the making of films business. But it still has to go to festivals abroad, and it's a brilliant advert for South Africa and Hermanus. So I hope it does travel around the world.
The book itself as well, and the light and shade, the contrast in the way that book is written, as well as what looks to me like the fact that you've taken a beautiful tranche out of South African life and been able to convey it very beautifully in a visual way. How important is that to being able to convey what the South African experience is to a foreign audience?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we were hearing from our audiences that they're sick and tired of the struggle story. I don't buy that. We're not sick and tired of the Second World War or the Jewish story, so why should we be tired of? I think what the audience was saying is that there are other South African stories, and why aren't we telling them? And for me, I picked this story very carefully because I wanted to express myself as an artist, and I wanted to share that we're not just all about politics and about apartheid. We are also about love, about cultural differences, about crazy characters like Saluni, about the beautiful twins, about a wonderful setting like Hermanus. And this is, for me, a typical Mzansi Wood movie. And by Mzansi Wood, I define Mzansi Wood as films produced by South Africans, using local funding, using local crews, and most importantly, using local cast. Because our movies tend to get lost in this, we need foreign actors to portray us, and I feel that's a really bad model. It's been proven to be a bad model. So I believe this is a truly South African movie, and like Tsotsi was a truly, for me, a true Mzansi Wood movie, and that traveled. So I think if we continue to be true to thine own self be true, and we tell our stories, they will travel, and we will be able to get this industry growing and make it profitable.
And yet, Zola, here at home, we still, as South Africans, haven't bought into the talent, the expertise, really, that we see in so many South African movies of late. How do we convince local moviegoers that this is what we should be going to watch?
If I had the answer to that, I'd be a billionaire by now. When we talk of the South African film industry, we're really talking about Leon Schuster. You know, he's the guy that breaks all box office. It says a lot about South Africa that Leon Schuster is the South African film industry. You know, I just think that our audiences are not yet, have not had enough South African films. We are not making enough product to put out there so that our audiences can go and have a variety of South African films, a variety of South African stories, a variety of South African stars that they can identify with. So the onus is on us to make movies, and I believe once we make movies, the audiences will follow.
And of course it premieres on the 13th of October. So
it goes on local release at Ster-Kinekor Theatres on the 13th of October. It's showing tomorrow at the Joburg Book Fair at 6 o'clock, and Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m. All the screenings are free.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming in to speak to us, Zola Maseko. Such an honor to have you in studio. Director of the movie The Whale Caller, Zola Maseko. It premieres, as he said, tomorrow at the Jozi Book Fair. Please try and get there either tomorrow or on the weekend to be able to see that.
Come, Sarissa!
The whales have stolen his soul. All he does now is blow his horn for all instead of the Lord.
And that is how we wrap up the afternoon news show for today. You can keep track of all the day's top stories with Vuyo Mboko in Newsnight from 6 o'clock. First, though, we check in with the Weather Centre. Have a